Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna learn about this awesome 3D video slider. If you're following my tutorials, you know I like to use cubic shapes. This time I wanted to create a triangular prism, placing videos on its sides, which created this great slider. We also have this nice text effect I created for the titles. You can find the link for the file in the description below, and let's get started. Let's start with the innermost component, video wrapper. It has two variants. In the first one, the video is paused, and in the second one, it's plain. And the video file is a variable that lets us easily change in the upper component videos wrapper, which is formed by three video wrapper components, basically for each side of videos wrapper. And as I said, since each video wrapper instance has paused and plain variants, we switch to its plain variant depending on the visible side, as you see left, right and back. We make each side visible in its variant by rotating the video's wrapper inner around the y-axis. To make the animation more interesting, I added 360 rotation values. As you see in the second variant, we rotated 690 degrees, adding 360 to the required 330, adding one more cycle to the rotation. Before starting examining the most complex component, which is slider, let's quickly check the text content. To create the nice title text animation in its first variant, we duplicate it and make the opacities of both 0, while making the first one's scale minus 3.6 and the second one's 6. Basically, we're creating one small, one big copy of the same title, and since they are controlled by the same variable, we only change it once in the slider component. And in the second variant here, we make them both visible, creating that nice effect, which is formed by one zooming out and one zooming in copy of the title. And since two text layers on top of each other doesn't look great on the edges of the text, with another time transition, which has a 1 second of delay, we switch to its last variant, which has only one title text visible. As you see, the second one has 0 opacity here. As I said, to maintain the clean look on the edges of the text, and also makes the animation better. Let's check the slider component. As you guess, we gather all inner components in this one to create interactions and transitions comfortably. The most important thing I need to mention here is why we need two variants for each slide. We need those extra variants because otherwise we can't see the title animation in each slide. Let's actually go back to text content component, and as we checked, we have a transition to its second variant that makes the animation possible, but that transition only happens once the component is loaded. Let's go back to slider, and since we have it already loaded in the other slides, it's not going to be played after the first slide, even if we switch to its first variant. So in order to reset or refresh it, I had to add those extra variants, in which I turned its visibility off, as you see, and turn it back on in each new slide, which made the animation to be played again. I needed to keep those extra variants in mind while setting the interactions also, since if we switch to a variant that already has the title visible, it wouldn't play the animation. So as you see, the second button's target is not the second slide, but the second variant of the first slide, or variant 1, 2 in this case, which has a time transition to the second slide. Same goes for the autoplay function or time transitions between slides. You can see the appear transition of the first slide goes to variant 1, 2 instead of variant 2 to play the title animation, as I said. I'd like to quickly mention how I generated the videos. I used Firefly boards since it helps me to organize the content. First I clicked generate video, and I selected Pico 2.2 for the model, since after doing some tests, it was the most optimal model for the animations that I'm looking for. After pasting the prompt here and setting the aspect ratio, I think it was landscape, all I did was clicking generate and dragging the video to my board. You can see some of my previous generations here, and I can drag any of them to the board, because that way I was able to see all videos at once after generating and regenerate and replace some to create a better harmony, etc. Then to use in Framer, all I did was downloading them using this download button here. We can go back to Framer and check our slider again to see it once more, now knowing the methods and tools behind it. And that wraps this tutorial up. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, check my other tutorials, and see you in the next one.